American Justice Vault.
Have Martin Fonseca Cardenas.
So there's a very no issue. Where had two cups? Well, one they didn't. They could not even bring him out when I went to visit. He's in maximum. He also has an ice hole. So I had Mr. Rojas help me to communicate with him.
Okay.
I don't think he understands what exactly is going on.
So do we need a evaluation or you think it's the language?
I think it's the language barrier.
So,
Mainly.
so let's do this. Let me reset it and you can get Ms. Burge to go out there with you.
Okay.
And meet you at the jail, either that or, Mr. Zapata. And hopefully they'll be able to bring them out. Maybe if you want, when you know you're going, if you want to contact
The jail.
and make sure that they can get them out for you, contact me if we need to make some special arrangements to bring them here, if that's what they need done or whatever, so that you can visit with him with, and
Okay.
Mr. Rojas, do you mind real quick, just letting, Mr. Fonseca Cardenas know that I'm gonna reset his case so that Ms. Holmes can, go out to the jail with an interpreter? Oh, I didn't, Ms. Burge is here. I could have asked her to do that. Sorry, go ahead.
Que puede mirar alguien que diga los hipótesis de la verdad fecha. O sea, de la fecha.
Yo me voy para qué.
Aquí se ve con la paz, pero entonces, como okay.
Also, if you don't mind, a little bit more. Mr. Cardenas, I understand that jail is not a great place to be. But I want you to understand that I get an incident report for every single thing that you're doing in our jail. You need to stop spitting on the correctional officers. You need to stop throwing your urine and feces on the correctional officers and follow all of the rules. Do you understand? Do you understand?
¿Entiendes? Yeah.
If you don't, it's going to make your case worse. And it's going to make Ms. Holmes' job a lot harder if you keep acting like you do in the jail. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You can go back with the bailiff. And if you'll just get with him and let me know if you need any help with that. Good morning. Are you Christian Lazo?
Sí.
And for the record, Ms. Burge has already been sworn in and is going to translate for us, correct, ma'am?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Lazo, in cause number 25, DCCR 1423, was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to the first-degree felony offense of aggravated robbery. The agreement was for a cap of 15 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. I've received the pre-sentence report. Have you both had an opportunity to review that report?
I have, Judge. Yes, Your Honor, we have.
Are there any additions or corrections?
Nothing things.
Not from the state, Your Honor.
Well, Judge, there is one issue that was brought to my attention this morning by Mr. Alonzo in regards to his criminal history. I think there's a notation there from the federal issue, and according to the report we have that he pled guilty and was sentenced time served. According to Mr. Alonzo, he was granted asylum during that time, and wasn't actually sentenced in that matter.
Is there currently an ICE hold? Can you check, please? Is there, but Mr. Lazo is not here legally, correct?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And the first young. First young and us. When I opened it.
Okay.
See the ones with all the hairs.
All right, Mr. Lewis, you may proceed with argument.
Well, Judge, Mr. Alonzo, he's been pretty straightforward from the beginning of this case of his involvement. He's taken full responsibility, trying to be as cooperative as possible in this matter so the proper parties and everyone can be made whole, especially dealing with the victims and what they lost out on. Even to the point where he didn't know the victim would be here, but he did prepare a letter of apology that at some point he would hope been able to read or you let them know of. He does understand he does have other holes from different counties that has to be addressed as well. So at this time, he's really just asking the court for as much leniency or mercy as possible as far as going forward to resolve this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols.
Your Honor, I took into account his cooperation and willingness to accept responsibility when I capped it at 15. This is a pretty horrific robbery where they targeted this woman who's sitting right over here. He knocked her to the ground while holding a gun. They stole $80,000 in cash from her business. They've been targeting this woman. They've been following her and planning this for months, Judge. And I know another individual was involved. That case is pending. Mr. Lazo did essentially debrief as to how they got there and what they were doing. And that was taken into consideration when the cap offer was made. But the facts of this case, Judge, I think 15 is more than appropriate. She was terrorized, she was brutalized, she was injured, and had to go through this. She lost items that can't be replaced, some belonging to her late husband they stole from her. They stole her passport along with this huge amount of cash that was from her business. It was obvious they had targeted and sought her out and followed her, and that this was not just some random occurrence, that it wasn't just a crime of opportunity. They came in from Houston to do this, and they've been planning it for some time, Judge. So I ask the court to assess the full 15.
Anything else?
That's unfinished, Judge.
Mr. Lazo, I appreciate your attorney's arguments, asking me for leniency, but any leniency that you, I don't even know if deserve is the right word, but are getting, was because of the agreement that your attorney reached with the district attorney for that cap of 15 years. What you two did to Ms. Ordaz is absolutely something, it's out of a movie, scary for a person who is just living their life, trying to run a business. And in my opinion, 15 is really probably not enough, but I understand, and I think she probably feels the same way. I appreciate, and I'm sure everybody, including her, appreciates you taking responsibility so that there wasn't a drawn out trial, so that everybody involved is going to also have their day in court. And so based on all of that, at this time, I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of aggravated robbery, sentence you to a term of 15 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You do receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. There will be an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. I'm going to hand you the trial court certification that shows that this was an agreement I followed, and so you have given up any right to appeal. I've also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. It's in Spanish and you need to read it carefully. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Mr. Lewis. And if you guys will have a seat at council table, we will go off the record for a victim impact statement.
Ms. Randall?
Good morning. Are you Veronica Randall? And Miss Randall was previously in court in clause numbers 25 DCCR 0246 and 0247. Entered pleas of guilty to theft of property with previous convictions, a state jail felony. Also entered pleas of true to prior convictions, which enhanced this to I believe, second degree felony for punishment purposes. The agreement was for a cap of 6 years in prison. I've received and reviewed that pre-sentence report. Have you all both had an opportunity to review that report?
Yeah, Sean.
Yes, sure.
Are there any additions or corrections to the report?
All good? What you read? All accurate? No, no additions.
Judge, I don't have any additions or corrections. I would just state if it's the appropriate time for the court. When I look at it, I have some empathy for Ms. Randall based on the comments that she made. But how much can we take her out of her word with her criminal history? The court will recall you previously rejected 4 years in this case. I'll defer to whatever you think appropriate. Yeah, Judge.
I also have taken judicial notice of the jail incident reports. You both should have copies of those. Have you both had an opportunity to review those as well?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Sean.
All right, Mr. Vasquez, you may proceed with argument.
Your Honor, I know Ms. Randall's had probation a couple of times in the past. And it didn't work out for her. But I'm arguing for anything that does not involve incarceration. Ask the court to just grant her probation with every condition and that the court thinks best would help her to quit offending. And in lieu of that, I mean, in the alternative, you're not asked for something less than the 6 years. If she's going to.
Anything else, Ms. Malfini?
Judge, I don't have any additional comments. I would just state that our agreement initially was to dismiss the new case because she already has the sequence felony priors that would enhance anything further. But if the court disagrees with that, we can visit about it after the sentence.
So, Ms. Randall, I made some notations on this pre-sentence report, some issues and maybe some mental health issues that have contributed some issues in the past. However, there's nothing in here that makes me believe that any condition you may have is what requires or makes you go out and do what you've done. Literally since 1981. Your first theft that I have here was from an arrest from 1981. Then I have one after another misdemeanor thefts through 2018. Then we've got, starting in 1986, a robbery and a theft. And then we've got 13 felonies since then. These are your 14th, 15th, and I guess 16th felonies. At some point, you got to figure it out. There's opportunities when you are not incarcerated and not on probation to get the help that you need if that's what you think is the problem. I think the problem is you just like to go steal or rob, because I mean, we've got robbery, aggravated robbery, another robbery. Anyway, so at this time, in each of your cases, I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you also entered your pleas of true to those prior convictions freely and voluntarily. In cause number 25 DCCR 0246, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of theft of property with previous convictions. Find the other previous convictions true, sentence you to a term of 6 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. In cause number 25 DCCR 0247, I'm also going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, find those prior convictions true, sentence you to a term of 6 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will also receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. These cases will run concurrently, which means together at the same time. I will sign a dismissal in clause number 25 DCCR 1686 as part of this agreement. I'm handing you the trial court certifications in each of your cases that shows that these were agreements that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. I also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgments entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read that written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Mr. Vasquez.